What's up, YouTubes? How's it going? So I guess, oh gosh, there's so many things I want to talk about, but I did promise you guys that I would talk about Tom's Town, which this is the distilling company that I did the tour of in Kansas City. And honestly, love it. Hold on, I want to pause this real quick. Sorry, I was listening to the To Be Better podcast with Chris and Peaches, and I absolutely love it, but I need to pause it because obviously I'm here doing this now. So yeah, I told you guys I talked about Tom's Town, which is the distillery that I went to, and honestly, it was great. So this is their spring gin. They introduced it in the spring. It's called Garden Party. Hence the pink. Oh, I should have worn that. I actually have a shirt. I bought a shirt from them whenever I went to the tasting. That's the Garden Party. It's a really cute pink, you know, just like this. Just Garden Party on it. I'm really fumbling on that. Oh well, it's fine. It's like a extra large or something, or 2X. So it'd be huge on me. Not cute, obviously. Just big like everything else I own because I love oversized. But yeah, so I tasted it before I bought it. We had like our normal tasting, and this, since he knew I liked gin, the guy who did the tour and the tasting, since he knew I liked gin, he was like, you have to try this before you buy anything. And I was like, of course. And so I tried it and I was like, I have to get a bottle of this. So I got a bottle of this gin, and I actually got a bottle of their barrel aged gin. Let me grab it real quick. Bottle of their barreled gin. As you can see, it's not clear, which most, if not all, like gins are, and that's because it's smoky and delicious. Because okay, I loved my bourbons and all that, but honestly can't really drink them anymore. They're just not for me. My stomach, I have weird dreams, especially with whiskey, so I just can't do it. So the fact that there's just like a kind of like a barrel aged gin is like, it's the best of both worlds, because I love my gin, but I miss like a really good bourbon. So this is a really nice like crossover. It's delicious. But I did buy one of their bourbons. It's the Royal Gold bourbon, I believe. I'm not gonna grab that out because I don't know if I can actually find it right now. Because actually I found it. Just kidding. So I am moving, so everything is like taken from these cabinets and is over there. Most of this cabinet's empty. A lot of the laundry room, not a lot of the laundry room actually is empty. The cabinets I'm going through, I'm eating just what I have in the fridge and in the cabinets. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. So yeah, but yeah, so this is the bourbon I got, and it's actually really good, which again, I told you I can't really drink some, but this was actually so good. I was like, I'm buying a bottle. And I love the bottle. They wanted to reminisce about what is it? Why can't I think of the words right now? And to honor him, they wanted the bottle to look more like the era where Prohibition! I was like, don't come to me when I just start speaking words. They wanted to look like the Prohibition era bottle. So yeah, it's Pendergast's Royal Gold. It's a bourbon whiskey, and it's cast finished bourbon. It is delicious. It's a blend of, I think they said 5 and 7 year old bourbon, which they don't have bourbon that's old enough to be 7 years. I think in the next like few years they will, because they are newer. They will, and it'll go over to their bourbon, but right now I think it's a mix of their bourbon and somebody else's, but it's still really good. So yeah, it's delicious. Anyway, with the Garden Party gin, they were like, the best way to drink it is a dirty martini. So that's what we're gonna do. And since I saw a video of somebody trying to bash Buc-ee's because they brought a emotional support duck in and got kicked out, I figured I'd do Buc-ee's. So we're gonna do some Buc-ee's, and it's garlic stuffed, so pray for me. They're really good, don't get me wrong. I just don't know how they're gonna be in a martini, because I don't think I've ever done garlic stuff. There's like blue cheese stuffed olives for dirty martinis, but I've never had garlic stuffed. So you know what? It's gonna be fun. And I'm gonna eat this one right here because look, there's garlic sticking out. This is gonna be fun, guys. Anywho. Woo! That's a strong flavor. Woo! Okay, so I've seen a few different measurements. One of them was 3.5 ounces of gin, 1/2 ounce vermouth, 1/2 ounce of olive brine. The other one was 2.5 ounces of gin. So that's what I'm gonna do because I don't want to be like face planted on the floor. We're not here for that right now. We're here because I just want to have a nice cocktail. I already have ice. What do I need over there? Nothing. That's what I need. Okay. So I got ice in my shaker. Come on. Let's break this. So anyway, Tom's Town is actually what Kansas City used to be known as decades ago. During the Prohibition was a big time for them. It smells so good. And it was known as Tom's Town because Tom Pendergast, I need to remember that name, Tom Pendergast pretty much ran the town. He was corrupt, yes, but you know what? It was a poor town whenever he got there, but you know what? Everybody ended up getting a house, everybody had food, everybody had a job. That's what he did. He was corrupt, but everybody had a job, everybody was happy. And Prohibition was not a thing because he owned the town. If you wanted a job, you went to Tom. And he would talk to you, and if he thought he could trust you with a vote, he'd sign a note, hey, be obliged, you know, and send you on your way to go get that job, especially for the police. So when Prohibition comes along, you think those cops are going to do anything about those bars? No. And that's also where apparently a lot of jazz music came into play, because they had open bars, and it was like 250 to 300 bars within like a mile radius. And oh, vermouth, that's what I needed. So there was never a violation in Kansas City. Extra dry, of course. There was never a violation in Kansas City for Prohibition because of Tom. And everybody's drinking. And I actually have a shirt that says the people were thirsty, because when he finally was cracked down on, they were like, hey, like, why'd you do it? And he was like, the people are thirsty. That's like the myth, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, I did not seal that well. There we go. Okay, so he, the way he ran the town, say you're moving into town, he had these city block monitors, I guess you could say. Chilled coop, because we are not heathens in this house. In this house. In this house. But he had the city block monitors. They'd be the first ones that you would meet going into town, or meeting when you moved into town. And they'd come, hey, introduce you, here's my business card, I'm so-and-so, I'm your city block manager. Is your water turned on? Do you have your heat turned on? Or not heat, they didn't have heat back then, but is your water turned on, your electricity? Do you have coal for tonight? Do you have food? If they said no to any of those, the manager would make sure that those were turned on no later than the next morning. But if they didn't have any coal or food for heat and obviously dinner, he would go out, buy it, make sure they had some, so that way they did not go to bed hungry and they did not go to bed cold. And you know, with that card, here's my card, call me anytime you need anything. So you know, that's your impression of them. And so when voting comes around, they'd come back around and with a copy of the ballot, and you know, hey, we really think that you should look at this ballot. This is, you know, what we're liking, and remember all that stuff I did for you, especially if you called that number. Hey, remember everything I did for you this past year? This is how we would like you to vote. And you know what? It worked. And it worked well, because Tom Pendergast had businesses. He wasn't a politician. He had businesses. And I think it was, let's try this. So it was 3 concrete businesses, and then like 20, and it was like 24 or something other construction businesses. So when they bid for a government project, he could outbid all his businesses would outbid each other, and he would then employ everybody in the city. He was smart, he was corrupt, but you know what? It worked. Now let's try this. Oh. I think I like this. Oh my gosh, I've never had a dirty martini. I've always done just like a dry martini, lemon twist. You know, that's what I've done. But oh my gosh, this is good. Maybe it's the garlic in there. Maybe I'm just hungry. I do like the garlic though. It tastes good. I think some people are really gonna hate me for this, but I think it tastes good. Anyway, was he a good man? Was he a bad man? I don't know. He sounded like a fun man though. Harry Truman. The only reason Harry Truman got into politics was because of Tom Pendergast. But eventually the reason Tom got caught, not really got caught, but taxes. So do your taxes. He was caught doing tax fraud, of course, because he wasn't filling out his bribery on his taxes. So I mean, I don't know how you fill that out, but yeah, that's how they got him. And so he went to jail for like, I think 15 months, so it wasn't even years, but that was enough, you know, to make everything crumble. Because then, to this day, Kansas City does not own its own police department. The state owns it, because of all of that. And it was really cool because the guy that did the tour, honestly, he was great. I love going to tours like this. He's from that area. He was born somewhere else, but moved there when he was younger. His neighbor was a cop for this Tom guy. And so he knew all about it. Whenever the state took over the police department, he got out and did piping. He was a pipe layer the rest of his life and did that because they just knew. They're like, okay, like obviously it's been a good run. I think he was there for like 2 decades. It was a good run. We had a great time. The economy boomed during Prohibition. They had casinos, they had gentlemen's clubs, they had all of that. And it was great. They did wonderful. But then, you know, of course, the government always has to step in. So, yeah, the government stepped in and everybody knew what was going to happen. So they got out. Anybody who was a cop for him, I don't think was able to stay a cop because corruption. But I mean, like, sometimes, you know, laws are stupid. So I don't fault him for that. I think, honestly, he is probably a legend. He is a legend, and I will cheers to Tom Pendergast and doing what he did best and taking care of his people, even though it may not have been above the law. That is a legend right there. He did what he saw fit, lined his own pockets along the way, of course. I'm sure there's some people that got stepped on, but you know what? He took care of his city. So cheers to that. And he enjoyed some nice drinks on the way. I mean, he even was like, what's Prohibition? So yeah. He, in my eyes, that would have been, I would have loved to meet him. I think he's on my list now of people that if you could have dinner with people dead or alive, I think he's on my list now. I would love to meet him. But yeah, Harry Truman's got into politics because of Tom Pendergast. Can you believe it? It's crazy the things you learn when you go to places like this and you go to small little, it was a distillery tour and I learned all about the history of Kansas City. Y'all, it was great. I love things like this. This is my niche. This is like my niche. Like, I love that. But yeah, I can also talk about the Pabst history because I did that tour as well. Not the brewery that they have now, but the old brewery that they had when they were flourishing. But yeah, I could do a video on that too. It would probably be long like this one, but you know what? I had fun. It's fun to talk about stuff like this because I don't have people to talk to about it. That made me sound very lonely. But yeah, it was fun. I like geeking out like this. It's just, oh my gosh. Could you imagine living back then and prohibition just isn't a thing in your city and everybody has a job and everybody has food on the table and you know, all because of one guy and everybody just turned the other way. He did something, they were like, yeah, that's just how he wants us to vote, you know, that's just how it is, that's Tom. I mean, oh my gosh. Those were the days, but now everybody's on social media and everything gets tracked. That's why the less you put on social media, the better. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my ramblings. I do appreciate it. Honestly, don't know how filming's gonna go in my next place because I will be with somebody and her dogs. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I do appreciate you guys and I do thank you for everything and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you do want to hear about Pabst at all or any other stories of me traveling. Yeah, we'll have a nice drink together and we'll talk about it. I will see you on the next video. Bye, YouTubes.